Iranian President Ebrahim Raisi is in Moscow today for talks with Russian President Vladimir Putin. The visit comes after Putin traveled to the United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia for talks on energy and regional politics. He has rarely left Russia since the International Criminal Court issued an arrest warrant for him in March over the war in Ukraine. So for more on this, we are joined by Anatol Lieven. He is the director of the Eurasia Program at the Quincy Institute. Thank you so much for joining us. So what can we expect to come out of this meeting between Putin and Raisi?
I think you will see more Iranian military help to Russia. Iran has played a very important role in providing Russia with drones, which have played a critical part in the war in Ukraine. So I would expect more of that. But I think also after Putin's visit to Saudi Arabia and the UAE, they will be talking about, how the countries of the Gulf can move further towards détente, reduction of tension. This is something that the Chinese have also been encouraging, reconciliation between Saudi Arabia and Iran. And of course, this does undermine US and Israeli strategy in the region, which has been very much directed against Iran. And I think it's also a reflection of the great anger that the war in Gaza has caused in much of the Arab world, including the population of Saudi Arabia. It's on the part of Mohammed bin Salman, the de facto ruler of Saudi Arabia. I think it's a recognition that the greatest threats to his regime are now not external ones from Iran, but they could be discontent at home.
Anatol, I was just thinking about the war in Gaza as we're talking about Iran and potentially Russia and all of this sort of conversations we've had about Iran's link potentially to Hamas and definitely to Hezbollah in the north. But why do you think, you talked about this a little bit at the beginning of your last answer, but it has to benefit Vladimir Putin and potentially Russia's military efforts against Ukraine to go to the Middle East? Is that sort of the reason why he's decided to make sort of this rare trip?
Well, I don't think that the visit to Saudi Arabia and UAE will benefit Putin's military efforts in Ukraine. What they do is two things. They demonstrate that Russia is not isolated from most of the world. It's isolated from the West, but that it continues to have good relations with most countries around the world, including US allies or supposed allies like Saudi Arabia and the UAE. The second thing is Russia is very anxious that Saudi Arabia should not bow to US pressure greatly to increase its oil production, because that would obviously undermine the price of Russian oil. So they've a lot to talk about on the energy front as well.
So you just sort of touched on the business dealings that Russia and Saudi Arabia share. They're both oil-producing countries. It is in Russia and everyone's best interest to keep the price of oil high, but in particular Russia, because they're using this to finance the war in Ukraine. I'm curious, though, about his travels and his kind of messaging that Russia has friends in the world, they're not isolated. Does this put the U.S. in a challenging position? Because, I'm sure that the U.S. doesn't want Putin to feel at home in a number of different countries. But, on the flip side, the UAE, Saudi Arabia, these are allies.
Well, yes, but, it must be recognized the degree of damage that the war in Gaza and U.S. support for Israel has done to the U.S. image in so much of the world, and particularly of the Arab world. So Putin, without, taking a very strong line against Israel, because he's always had very good relations with Netanyahu, is anxious to show that, if you like, Russia is on the right side here, and to appeal not just to the governments in the Middle East, but also to Arab public opinion. It should also be noted that Dubai in the UAE is also a tremendous hub of Russian money and the financing of trade with Russia. So the UAE is a pretty important partner for Russia as well.
Well, Vladimir Putin, known as part of his diplomatic strategies to appreciate optics and a distraction that the war in Israel and in Gaza has led to. So, Anatol Lieven, thank you so much. We appreciate your time.